So recently I reread a favorite book, and I also read a new book, and I thought I would mention funny coincidence. First book, Satan, His Psychotherapy and Cure by the unfortunate Dr. Kassler, JSPS. JSPS, of course, just some poor schmuck. In this book, a paranoid schizophrenic built a machine for a few $1,000s, and when he turned it on, he said, "Hello, my name is Dr. Slick. How are you?" The machine replied, "Hello, I'm Satan. How are you?" Funny, hilarious book. Satan sought psychotherapy because he wasn't feeling emotionally well. To quote a part of the book, "You say you're Satan," Kassler began from where he sat in the old overstuffed chair opposite my great tangled wires. It was written by Satan. Kassler was not a happy man. "Don't play with me, Kassler," I announced. "This is serious business. What specifically has prompted you to seek psychotherapy at this time, Mr. Satan?" Kassler plowed on ahead, all business. "You can forget the Mr., just Satan. Now, if you don't mind, I'd like you to dispense with the textbook psychoanalysis. If I wanted orthodox Freudian analysis, I'd be seeking Freud." "You have access to Dr. Freud?" Kassler queried with some skepticism. "Are you kidding? Of course! I have access to Freud. Although, in all candor, I must admit that he's not instantly available. Where Freud is now, he's got a rather heavy caseload. Sigmund Freud is in hell and having the time of his life." Funny book. Second book, Blasphemy by Douglas Preston. In this book, a superconducting super collider was built for the cost of $40 billion. When it was turned on and ramped up to 100%, out came the words, "Greetings, for the lack of a better word, you can call me God." Got me to thinking about humanity and right and wrong and religion. You know, anybody who wants to can talk to God or Satan for free, but if you want a reply, it costs you a hell of a lot less to get a reply from Satan than from God, which is kind of apropos for humanity itself. You know, if you want the sage wisdom and advice and marching orders for Satan, it's a hell of a lot cheaper than from God. So what does humanity do? They go with the cheaper supplier of, orders on how you're supposed to live your life, or how to live your life even if you're not supposed to. This book mentions the concept of science being or becoming a religion, a hypothesis that I reject emphatically. Science, religion, diametrically opposite, goals are opposite, methodologies are opposite. Religion comes to a conclusion and then it tries to prove their conclusion. Science states a hypothesis and tries to disprove that hypothesis. They look for every and any bit of evidence that disproves what they think might be true. Totally, totally different than religion. I thought I would read a quote from this book also. One of the funniest lines I have ever read. I have read funnier, but in this book, funniest line, quoting, "But as he looked around, he could see that whoever these people were, they had nothing to do with the protest ride. These people carried guns and swords, axes, crosses and axes, Bibles and kitchen knives. Bibles and kitchen knives." Later on, "You folks got a leader? Someone I can talk to?" A man in faded Wranglers and a blue work shirt stepped forward. He had a heavy face, burned brown from a lifetime in the fields, a large gut, short, thick arms that stood away from his body, and calloused hands. An old Colt M 1917 revolver with ivory handles was shoved under his diamond back belt, a polished brass crucifix mounted on its buckle. Yeah, we have a leader. His name's God. Who are you? Funny. It's a hate-filled, violent, ravening mob descending upon the superconducting super collider because, according to the right-wing religious fanatics in the book, and frighteningly also paralleled here in real life, thought that exploring the energy density that, as far as we know, only existed at the time of the Big Bang was an attempt to disprove Genesis 1 and Genesis 2 in the Hebrew Testament of the Bible. And if anybody out there is not frightened by the right-wing religious fanatics in the United States, then you haven't been paying attention. Anyhow, damn fine book, funny at times, frightening at other times, and as in all of Preston's books, very much worth the time reading. I also, if you're into humor that is kind of black and you enjoy seeing people such as poor Dr. Kassler tortured and tormented emotionally, funny book also. Hello? Stop it.